Hang on, I saw this. This popped up. It was an article I was reading this morning. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to appreciate it. So, some recruitment. It was an article about coming from like a recruiter, which was just saying that the current generation is going to struggle staying employed because they're coming out of the gates, right, and haven't. So,
is it to do with expectation?
Yeah. Right. So our parents basically, that gen had zero balance where it was just like work, and they accumulated wealth or whatever, but that was pretty much it.
Or got by or whatever it was.
And then the next gen, right, they sort of worked and there was a bit more of the holiday thing and a bit more, a bit more play. And the current gen, the kids coming out of uni, all that sort of shit, if they've made it to uni, theirs is like 100% mental health focused. Don't want to don't want to do any hard yards, demanding 6-figure salaries coming out of the gate.
Oh, we see that.
Yeah.
Oh, we see that.
Yeah, and it says, flexibility and setting firm boundaries between work and their personal lives are key drivers for the younger generation, as evidenced through trends like quiet quitting, lazy girl jobs, and coffee badging. And it's getting to the point where it's like they don't want to feel any uncomfortableness.
Whatever happened to just hard days work?
Well, the other part is, in whatever trade you do, either it's a professional sphere or in the manual sphere, you will always serve an apprenticeship. And what I mean by that is that you need some grooming, you need some experience. You cannot have this
initiation.
You cannot have this expectation that you're going to come and you're going to be at the top of the tree from the get-go.
But that's what he's saying. That's
exactly what I'm turning
expectation.
Around. Some of the interviews,
it's not like you can't go there with open hands like this, going, "Okay, when's my promotion?"
Some of the interviews that I've conducted,
they don't want a promotion. They want it from the beginning.
Exactly. When I've interviewed a lot of the younger brigade that have come out of uni, they have this expectation to say, "I am going to do this at the top of the tree," and you try and say to them, "But you've got to groom yourself into that. Sure, you've got the aptitude and you've got the skill set to do that. No problem about that." But you also need the real life experiences, and you're going to have all these scenarios that are going to be thrown at you at a workplace. If you don't have that grooming, how are you going to manage that?
Yeah, but there's also that saying, you've got to earn your stripes.
Yeah, true.
That's the whole point.
Well, that's basically what this interview, this woman from like this recruitment mob was saying. These kids are coming out of uni or high school, no life experience, no real world experience, just saying, I'm going to be on six figures. I want to work from home.
Rocking up in an AMG, you know?
And they don't want to deal with the uncomfortableness of an interview, going in and dealing and being uncomfortable. Well, go start your
own business then, do what you like.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't.
Again, it comes back to the workplace settings that you have, about what your expectations are, how you want to bring in. And I know through our work, what we're doing at the moment is we have these levels of expectations about what we want to be seeing as custodians of these positions, and then from there onwards, if it doesn't work, well, the powers that be will tell us that it ain't working.
Well, here's the the terms, right? Quiet quitting, lazy girl jobs, and coffee badging. Do you know what these are?
Quiet quitting I'm familiar with. What are the other two?
Coffee badging is go on.
I'd only heard of quiet quitting. I can sort of guess what lazy girl jobs are.
What are the other two?
I don't know. So explain quiet quitting. I'm going to look up coffee badging. You said you knew what coffee badging is?
Coffee badging is more about the meetings and how many of these you're going to be seeing, thinking that they're going to do their business by sitting and let's go out and have a coffee. Let's go out and have a coffee and getting away from the actual work environment. That's the way that I see it.
Now, hang on. Coffee badging.
Yeah.
Okay, so coffee badging is a term used to describe the practice of employees showing up to the office for a short time to meet attendance requirements, but then leaving to work remotely. The term comes from the idea of grabbing a cup of coffee in the office while briefly interacting with colleagues or a manager. Coffee badging is a response to the increased popularity of return to office mandates and the resistance of employees. Some say that employees are accustomed to the flexibility of working from home and may only come into the office when necessary. Others say that coffee badging is a natural response to employer surveillance methods. Some say that coffee badging can create unpredictability in the workplace, making it difficult to schedule meetings. Others say that coffee badging can be a form of impression management in response to employee surveillance. Some companies have started to take action against coffee badging, such as putting employees on notice or implementing color-coded systems to grade office attendance.
Yeah, I think that's stupid. As in the people who do that, they're just avoiding shit. That's all.
Look,
I work from home. We do hybrid, like a lot of us probably do.
Yep, we do it.
But at the same time, I came from an era where that never existed. But then before
Or it never
COVID,
really existed before 2019.
No, it did. Because before COVID, I probably spent 20 years at Optus. I reckon at least a good 10 years at least of that, I was already doing hybrid. You know, we'd do a couple of days at home because I work for a national company that's based in Sydney at the time. Most of our superiors were based in Sydney. So a lot of our meetings were,
Online.
in a meeting room. So I'd leave my desk, I'd go in a meeting room, and we'd sit there and talk and do meetings on the screen and that. What difference does it make if I'm sitting at home doing my job? So I could easily go home and work from home and do exactly the same thing I was doing with systems and meetings and stuff there. So we already had that culture. So this thing about, it's a pandemic thing, that's rubbish. Every company can do hybrids and work from home. It all depends on the company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It all depends on your people too.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we had plenty of that before COVID. Then COVID came along. So for some people it was new, but for other companies like what I was at, it was just more of the same. The difference was for a while we were doing permanent work from home, etc. Now that, we're back to non-pandemic, it's gone back to the hybrid sort of thing, right? If you do it, and then it comes back to the culture of the people. If you got people who respect it and understand, like I go a couple of days in the office, you go, you make sure you rock up, you're there, you avoid coffee badging now that we understand what that's about. Do your work, you finish, you go home, and then when you work from home, you work from home. It's all about understanding where you're at, and it comes back to, that again, weirdly, comes back to values. If you've got the right values, you respect the situation you're in, and you work with it. If you don't have the right values, you're going to find ways to cheat and avoid it, like coffee badging or whatever that lazy girl thing was, or whatever.
For me, there's in between. All right, I don't mind. There's no look. I wouldn't say coffee badging.
He goes both ways.
You're fucked. There's people who actually come into the office.
Yeah.
They do their work. 5 o'clock hits. They're out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's fine. And there's people who actually work from home sometimes, and they're like, you know what? I usually take about 45 minutes to go get home from the office and so forth. I'll continue working a bit more until to finish off what I'm supposed to do. But there's people out there, they finish at 5 o'clock, I'm out of here, I'm going to catch my train at 5:10, I'm out of here, and they don't even finish their work. Yeah? So, how I see it is, if your work is done, or there's work to be done, I don't care how you do it, it has to be done. At home, at work, at a coffee shop, at a park, I don't care. But the work has to be done, and that's all I care about.
Yeah, but see,
you know
I'm on the road now a lot, like every day.
Agreed?
It's my job, right?
There's a bit of both to that.
I called him up yesterday or the day before, and I said, I feel fucking like I'm cheating my boss, right? Because I've got a company car now, right? And I'm on the road from, say, some mornings 8 o'clock, some mornings 8:30, sometimes just before 9, depending where I'm going for the day. And some days I'll be back at 5, some days I'll be back at 6, some days I'll be back at 1:30, 2 o'clock, right? And I'll sit down and do it, catch up on emails or whatever. And I've said, I feel like I'm cheating my boss. Like, I don't feel like I'm actually doing enough work. Or like, I feel like I'm not doing what I'm meant to be doing. And he said to me, what are you talking about? Like, you literally hit X amount of clients, you did this and that. Did you have lunch? No. Well, there you go. Did you stop? No. I just kept going. So it's like,
that's fine if you're comfortable doing that.
But that's what I'm saying.
But the point is, don't feel like you're.
Don't, because I've come from work environments like, look, by 40, I've done something that a lot of the old farts never did, and it's actually worked in different jobs, different companies, different industries, different modes. You know what I mean? I've worked for myself, I worked for other people, I've worked for conglomerates, I've worked for small businesses. I came from a start at 4 a.m., finish at 12:30. If you take a piss break, it's regimented. You know what I mean? We've got a GPS system on you to track your whereabouts in a warehouse.
Yeah,
Literally.
I get what you mean.
You're right there. This guy's gone back to the Panelists. No. So what I'm saying is, because I've spent...
Are you all right there? The guy's like, oh, shit.
I've spent 20-odd years... I've spent 20-odd years working to time clocks, punching in, clocking off, all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Being accountable for every minute of the day. When I get a chance to actually be completely autonomous with work, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. It's like, man, I haven't even stopped to take a piss break yet, but I've done like 6 hours of work straight.
Yeah.
You've hit your markers there, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, but that sort of...
Depends on the role.
but that's what I was trying to touch on. But
No touching.
Paid for the hour, you're out in 45.
based on the role that you've got, it could be very regimented like that, or it could be more flexible. Is it per item or per job done, or is it as long as you finish this project, work out your own time? That can be arranged depending on obviously the role you're taking on.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But what this whole thing started off about, I think it comes back to what you mentioned about entitlement and that, because we talked about hybrid working and that, right? Now, where I am now, the understanding is you do 2 days in the office, and you can even choose which 2 days you do. They don't care. And then you can do 3 days at home, right? Which I think is very fair.
I think that's fair.
Nothing wrong with that at all, right? Whereas you got people who are even struggling to even make up that 2 days or even 1 day, right? And we're thinking, okay, what's the problem? Why can't you do that? Oh, because of this, because of that, and whatever. And they go, oh, why are they forcing us to do that? They go, listen, mate. We come from an era where there was an expectation of you work somewhere 5 days a week. That's it. It's non-negotiable. And now you're struggling to work yourself to do,
2 days, yeah.
If you can't even meet that, and they say to you, sorry, well, what grounds do you have to complain? How can you not arrange 2 days in the office?
What's keeping them away from the office?
You know what it is? Because they like the fact of, I'd rather work at home 5 days.
Yeah, but what's the excuse they give?
Oh, probably things like, my kids or...
Yeah, but everyone's had kids.
And that's what I'm trying to say. That's no excuse. Because people used to have kids back in the day, always. All these things that they come up with are not new problems. Yeah. They're just using them as excuses. So at the end of the day, if you can't go to the office 2 days a week for a job that used to be a 5-day week in the office, then that's on you.
All right, so that lazy girl...
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah. The term lazy girl job refers to a type of employment that offers a good salary, a flexible schedule, and a healthy work-life balance. The term was coined by TikToker Gabrielle Judge, who uses the screen name Anti-Work Girl Boss, to raise awareness about toxic workplace expectations. Judge says the term is meant in jest and that she's not celebrating laziness. The term has become a viral trend that encourages employees to set boundaries at work and prioritize their mental health and happiness. It's appealing to many people, especially those in their 20s, single parents, or those who want to avoid commuting. Some say the lazy girl job trend is a reaction to burnout and a shift away from corporate hustle culture. Others say it's a call to action from employers to rethink their approach to leadership and create a more meaningful work environment. So, here are some characteristics of lazy girl jobs. Good pay, so lazy girl jobs offer decent salaries. Flexible schedule, so lazy girl jobs often allow employees to work remotely or have a hybrid schedule. Low anxiety, lazy girl jobs are low stress and minimize co-worker interaction. Because interacting with co-workers is stressful. That makes no sense.
What did you do today?
Professional freedom. Lazy girl jobs offer employees autonomy to manage their day as long as their tasks are completed. Okay, I'll give them that. All right, the last one. Autonomy to complete your day as you see fit, as long as it's done. Cool, we all agreed on that. For low anxiety, as in minimizing co-worker interaction, because interacting with co-workers gives anxiety. Are you fucking kidding?
I think it's necessary. Anyway.
But there's some jobs you need to interact with people.
Oh, that's right.
How many times I've spoken to either my boss or a colleague and we're talking on the phone, it's like, you know what, let's save this for tomorrow. We'll sit down, we'll go have a meeting somewhere, even if it's a coffee, and we'll talk it out, like we'll sit down and get our ideas on paper. You can't do everything via email or phone.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
I've got a client now that I'm trying to tune up in Sydney, and I dealt with them in the past, and I've just got another feeler back in for some other shit. Sent a few, and they remember me. We've sent a few emails back and forth. But back in my mind, I'm like, I've got to go up there. I've actually got to physically go up there and see this woman and actually talk face to face about A, B, and C. You know what I mean? If you can. And then low anxiety. And that's the other thing. Like, you can't go into
pull
work.
their mental health card easily now, unfortunately.
Like, you can't go. It's like, oh, we're going to be having quarterly reviews from now on, not yearly. Can't deal with this mental stress. What do you mean?
Get another job.
You know what it is?
It's your employer's right to assess their fucking...
It's an overreaction. So, yeah, going back before all this exploded, was it recent years? Was it a bit more? That, yeah, of course there was some places where either, you know, individual bosses or the whole culture was bad and had a bad influence on people. 100%. I acknowledge that. So what do you do about it? Well, put in a better culture, get some people in there to, you know, either straighten some people out or give some
Straighten them out.
or give some more balanced guidance or whatever, right? But what we find now is instead of doing a proper approach to dealing with it, they're overreacting. You know, like whether it's, I want this and I want that and I want that and I want that and I want that. It's like, hang on, man.
You know what the fuck? That's the thing. It's like, hang on, you want to earn 6 figures? Cool. Those jobs only go to like X percentage of people out there that want to do hard yards.
Yeah.
It's like it's like people just expect to have high paying jobs doing jack shit with zero stress. It's like,
right. So
they just want to look the part.
Someone's offering that job, that ideal job, let's say. But there's only one, right? And there's
1,000 candidates.
And there's 1,000 candidates. So you candidates, what's going to happen? You're going to get judged, aren't you? You're going to get assessed. You're going to have to go through that grueling interview process. Oh, but I don't want to do that either. Well, who the fuck are you? Excuse my French. Compared to him or her, that I should give it to you.
Did I tell you what happened when I went for that rental property a little while ago? The last one that made me break? Did I tell you what happened?
I don't think you did.
I may have mentioned it on one of the other pods. I can't remember. But so my lease was up. They were jacking the rent up by like 15%. And I went, nah, go get fucked. Okay, there's no way, right? So I got the idea to downsize, get an external office, whatever, and just rent like a one bedder. So I've started doing the rounds I only want to leave my area. So I started shortlisting, started doing a few rental inspections, and they all doing my head in. Like, there was just these shit properties, you know, and at that point, so it was February, March this year, the rental market was just fucked. There was nothing about nowhere, right? And they were basically auctioning off rental properties.
Which is illegal, isn't it?
It's illegal. Yeah. But like a property will get listed, and I'd be like, fucking beauty. Delisted, so no appointments were available, then they'd bring it back up with a higher rent. Or you'd put an app in and then they'd be like,
there's always ways.
Yeah. There's what, like,
yeah,
you know,
that's a dog act.
Yeah,
anyway,
dog act, right? The last one that I went to where I just cracked, I went to this place in St. Kilda, gone to the building, and the apartment looked nice. I'd only seen photos of it, but it looked like a nice setup. And we're at the bottom of the building, and there's fucking like 50 people, man. Like, they were taking teams up to do the inspection. So we all cram into the lift like cattle, just, you know, you've been branded, you know, your group C, go in. And there's about like 10 of us, 15 of us in this lift, right? Just sitting there. And like, I mean, over the last 3-4 years, I've done a lot of rent, like I'd rented, yeah. So I'd been to these inspections, and it's the same gag every time. There'll be like a young couple, there'll be like an older retiree. What do you mean?
All these people for one apartment.
Yeah.
No, it's fucked.
Dude,
it's going to get worse, trust me.
I would drive down my street and you'd see literally 50 people outside on the street because they're all waiting to get into a building.
Bad.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Fuck now.
I'm telling you. And it's
going to get worse.
The last 2 years have been bad. That's how it's been.
It's going to get worse. Watch the space.
Yeah, go on.
And so we're standing there, and you know, you try and make small talk. You see a lot of the same people as well if you're looking in the same areas. It's like, oh, it's you again. Any luck? You know, and then you make small talk. And sometimes you just get to it and you can't be fucked. It's like 9 a.m, you're burnt out. You can't be bothered. It was one of those mornings where everyone in the lift was just like, you recognize a few faces, but no one could be fucked saying anything. There was one girl who looked like she was like 18, 19 years old, 20 maybe. She had a pram, and we're going in, and as we're sitting there waiting to go up, she looks around at everyone. She's like, so when I get this place, do they help me with my move? And like, Are they going to help me do? And we're just,
Oh my God!
And we all just sort of looked up and looked at each other, and no one said anything.
When I get this
place. And we just looked at, dude. Some of us sort of like just smiled.
Did she think that the rest of you there were like the movers that were going to help her move in?
We're just there for shits and giggles, dude.
Yeah.
And we went up, I looked at it, we went up to the place, and it was already filled with people as well, and I was like, nah, man, I'm done. Like, I can't keep doing this. You know what I mean?
It's just the big rubber stamp. Denied.
Dude, that stuck with me. Like, bro, like, there are 50 people here. And you're asking an open question of when you get this place, do you get help with the move? Do you get help with, I'm like, oh, dude, like, no.
No, flexible with when, this.
Did anyone say anything to her?
Nah, we all just were stunned. It was too early in the morning, man.
That needed a good old wog just to go, cigar money.
What was the last one that we had to look up? It was quiet quitting. What do you know about quiet quitting?
I've heard about it. I'm not sure if I'm on the right track. Isn't it something about where you are going to leave, but you don't say anything to anyone, you don't make a fuss, you just do your job, and then suddenly you're gone?
Okay, so quiet quitting. I love how this is an AI overview, yeah?
Oh,
fucking hell, Google, man, at work. So quiet quitting is a workplace trend where employees disengage from their jobs without formally resigning. So employees do the minimum required to keep their job but don't go above and beyond. This can include reducing their workload, limiting communication, taking more sick days. Employees may quiet quit due to feeling undervalued, overworked, or disconnected. They may also be looking for a new job or ready to change positions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
they're downgrading their output.
Yeah,
just
to hit the
minimum standards.
Yeah, because they'll probably get that in feeling of you don't give a fuck about me, so I'm just going to...
Yeah, so quiet quitting can be detrimental to businesses, leading to a decline in productivity, missed deadlines, and a toxic atmosphere. The term became popular in TikTok in 22, but the issue it describes is not new. It may be a response to COVID.
Been around for ages.
Yeah, that's not new. That's probably just the terminology is probably new.
Yeah, younger generations like Gen Z and millennials may be more likely to quiet quit than older. They may value work-life balance and personal growth more than older employees.
That's very apparent. You can also see it, when you're managing people, you can also see that once they disengage and you ask questions and they become very short, attitudes change, attendance rates drop, performance outputs drop, and they don't say anything. Oh no, I'm good, all good.
Yeah, but that all comes down to, is that just because that's the type of person they are, or were they quite a fulfilled and
different
person who liked to contribute and everything, but they had a situation that
they feel unappreciated,
really pissed them off, and this is a reaction to that. You know what I mean?
Not my last job, but the job before that, I didn't quite quit. I made it quite clear that I would be out if I didn't get A, B, and C sort of looked after. And it was more like I was highlighting discrepancies and hypocrisies within like the workload, right?
Yeah, that's why it's not quite.
Like, the funniest part was
not so quiet.
But if the boss doesn't do anything about it, then whose fault is it?
No, that's fair, 100%.
Like,
but I get that's why they call it quiet quitting.
I'll give you an idea.
They just.
It was hilarious. There was a driver because like I was a logistics guy, right? And we had a driver that would go out to site and to stuff like that. And obviously drivers are interchangeable. They always had one bloke, and then we got a whole bunch of new guys because he was unavailable. So then me and a project manager basically took it upon ourselves to regulate that flow of drivers until the boss brought in some mate of his from overseas, right? This guy was a comedian, man. Like, he'd pull up, we'd see him pull up to like the warehouse at the end of the day, and he'd be transferring shopping bags from the work car to his car parked out on the street, and then pull the ute into the yard. And like, you've done you didn't buy like a litre of milk, you bought bags, man. They would have taken 45 minutes. Then he would come into the office and have his lunch. It's like, bloke, you could have done your shopping on your lunch break. You were only gone for 5 hours.
Taking the piss.
Yeah, he's taking a piss, that's right.
If you've got, I know that the right, if you've worked less than 6 hours, you only owed 15 minutes of a smoker that's paid for. After that, you're paying for your own lunch, my friend. But this guy was doing that, right? Then it became apparent to me that he was pretty much earning what I was earning, except he was cash money, untaxed. And I cracked it. I'm like, fuck this, because I knew what the others were earning, but this special driver got his demands because he was some sort of shit hot delivery dude. And I cracked it because I made it loud, like I made it apparent. And the boss said the boss's argument, he came down on the councilwoman and said, why is Demetrios knowing what the driver is getting paid? Like, it's not his information to know. And the councilwoman was like, he has to pay the driver.
That is his job.
Like that's like, no one's here. Like, especially during COVID, like, he's the only one in the office. He's managing that thing. Pays him. Like, what do you mean?
And response?
Nothing. Crickets. Yeah, exactly. So then when I quit, I literally, I just walked in, found another job, did a bunch of interviews, found another job, and that was it. I said, I go in, tell my boss, I was looking forward to it. Like, hey man, just to let you know, here's your 2 weeks notice. I only have to give a couple of days. I've been here for less than 2 years, but you'll get 2 weeks. All good. And it was like a joke. Like, he's like, can we do anything to keep you? I'm like, no. Okay, you're not going to match what this other mob's given me. Like, thank you.
Done.
But done, right? And up until the last day, I worked, right? As I always do. Like my old man, just work as you normally do. But it got to the second last day, and I kept saying to everyone else, like, what are you going to do, a handover or what? Yeah, we'll get to it. My last day, it got, like, I worked, my hours were 8 to 4, I think, right? It got to midday, and that's when I officially put the pencil down, and someone came to me and said, hey man, what's going on with this and that? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I go, I'm out of here in 4 hours. You've had 2 weeks to ask me questions. I go, I've done what I can, but now I'm officially checking out. Okay, we're only 4 hours away. I've got 45 minutes worth of smokers left. What do you want me to do? Okay, this is it. And then my boss called me on the Monday morning to ask me how to do something. And that was the end of it.
Your ex-boss.
Yeah. Literally.
Did you help him out?
Of course I did. Like, I'm not a dickhead.
But, and that's a good, you know what, that's a good value to have, because there are employment in your working life, there are things that might come back.
You don't want to burn bridges. That's
exactly
I don't
right.
burn bridges.
Exactly right. And Con, you don't. You don't, because somehow it comes back and takes a piece of you.
What's a small industry? Right? It's a small industry, especially logistics in Australia. You know, I see names pop up on paperwork interstate that I've seen before, like elsewhere. You know what I mean? And that's professionally anywhere. You're always going to walk in. We don't live, you know, in America and going from coast to coast. We live in Melbourne, where you're going to go into a building and you're going to see people you know, whether you like it or not.
100%.
You know what I mean? And like, my ex-employers can say whatever they want about me, but they can't say that I took the piss with work. They can't say that I was disrespectful. They can't say I ever stole anything. You know what I mean?
And they are the key values. You might not like me as a person,
yeah,
but it's what I bring to the table.
Yeah.
And am I a value to the business or not? Don't worry about the person. Park the person. Look at the skill set and look at the value that skill set's going to give.
It's funny when the shoe's on the other foot. Like, so with me, like with my last role, I got made redundant, right? And on my last day, I sent an email to the team, basically. There must have been maybe 10 people. And everyone responded, bar one. And it was the GM of the company that responded really quickly. And he said something like, you know, it's really been interesting. Like, when I first met you, like, especially because he's based overseas. And he's like, I quickly found out you're someone that, like, speaks his mind, but always has something behind it. It's not just fluff. And someone who clearly cares about and is passionate about whatever the business was and all that sort of shit, yada, yada, yada. After I started working for another mob, which was linked to my old company, they were having an internal issue with something, and my old boss happened to be in town, and he requested a coffee with me if I could help fill in some gaps from shit in the past. My first response was to call my new boss and say, hey man, X and X has asked for my time. He's like, yeah, he mentioned it to me as well. I go, what's your take on it? I go, because I work for you now. I go, I don't work for them. I'm on your clock. He's like, no, I guess it's fine with me. If you feel you're comfortable to go catch up with them, go ahead. I said, okay. So I turned up to this meeting. I'm in trackies. I'm in a fucking hoodie, beanie. You know what I mean? Like, hey, what's going on? And we started talking, and this guy started big noting himself a bit and started like trying to pull like
your ex-boss.
Yeah. He started big noting himself, trying to like draw like, trying to pull rank. And I went, hey, but, like, just let's get one thing straight. I'm here doing you a fucking favor. I don't need to be, okay, I've got other shit to do. I'm doing you a favour, mate. I said this to him. He just, the Wooler said, like, immediately.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's like, fuck off, man. They forget that line. Relationships change. The second, like, you know what I mean? You might be the same bloke, but you're no longer wearing the same stripes in my eyes. I don't give a fuck.
Correct.
And that's the same, the dynamic, I love it, like with the changing of the guard. Dynamic will always change, like with your relationship with someone else. You know what I mean?
And you need to be accepting of that.
Yeah.
You got to be flexible with that. If you're not, stay in the cocoon.
But that's what I'm saying. These quiet quitters, yeah, this new gen, they don't want the dynamic to change from where they were the big kids in the playground in high school, because now they're entering the workforce with zero experience. I want 6 figures. Who are you, man? We've got old Johnson down in accounts. He's been working his ass off for the last 30 years. You know
I'm thinking about Office Space, the movie.
Yeah, hasn't taken a lunch break. He hasn't taken a lunch break since '79.
He ends up in the boiler room office, you know.
Literally,
He's got 3 years of sick leave racked up
And 9 years of long service leave.
because he's on an old work agreement.
I'm not saying
And the old super scheme.
I'm not saying the old school hazing has to happen. I'm not saying, work people into the ground and bully them into submission.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, fair enough.
Balance.
But remember
yeah.
I said a lot of these people now, it's like an overreaction to that.
Yeah.
It's like, take that easy, man.
I don't know, man. Did you have fun at the Panelists yesterday?
No, yeah, that was... Oh, look, obviously different.
If it was Megadeth supporting, then it would have been a different story. But
Don't worry, I'll be doing that next Sunday.
I don't know.
Next
Look,
Saturday.
when I was in Greece...
what's next Sunday?
Monolith.
Oh, yeah.
Monolith.
It's just the name of the festival.
I know that. It's just funny. It's just a staunch name. Chasing Panegyria last year, I didn't get to see one. I got to see one that was sort of like a Panegyria, but it wasn't full on. So I actually got excited about Glendi, like, popping up.
Yeah.
Then I thought, like, a mate of mine had messaged me saying something, and then they're like, I don't think I'm even going to go to Glendi, like, tonight. I can't be fucked. I said, why not? With all the lovely Greeks? Like, wouldn't you love it? And they died. And I was like, laughing. Then I thought about it, man, I can't be fucked with Glendi and all the Greeks. Like, it's the last thing I want to do.
It wasn't too bad, to be honest.
Look, man, it's good. It's fucked. Yeah. Cause like, I'm proud of our people, right? I'm proud of our heritage, but our people now don't represent, where we come from. Just the idea of going to Oakleigh with all the Greeks just is killing me right now. I don't know.
You serious, man?
It does your head in,
This
man.
is the guy who goes to Oakleigh every fucking week for a coffee at least.
No, I don't.
With Excoboloi. He's like, yes, boys.
No, look, man, it's sometimes it's too much because a lot of those heads are stuck in the 90s, man. Like they are.
But you fucking do your own
out of
there.
all of our people, out of all the people,
I'm sure there was a lot of people there that probably what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't have to speak to them or interact with
Yeah,
them. I
correct.
just,
all right.
You stick to your own
Do
bubble,
you know
man.
why? Do you know why? There was a guy 2-3 weeks ago. I was in Oakleigh for work, and I saw a guy I went to primary school with and high school with. Right? I just saw him from a distance. He was in the same shop or same vicinity as me. I looked at him. I don't think he spotted me, and I've changed a lot since then. And he wasn't the brightest spark, so I just fucking ducked and got the fuck out of there.
2 days after, that was Steve.
Yeah. I didn't want to say anything. I avoided the interaction. I got the fuck out. Then I thought about why I avoided him, and I remembered because it was the last time I saw him. I was in Dandy. I just moved to Noble Park, so I was at Dandy Coles, and this was like a month out, 2 months after I'd moved to the areas, and I've seen him in Dandy Coles with his missus, and I hadn't seen him in like 10 years minimum. Right? Minimum 10 years. And I made the mistake of actually saying hi to him. I'm like, hey man, how are ya? And this guy was like full Kazanzidi specs, man. Like full black pants, black singlet, black slides. Just a mess of a dude. I was like, hey, how are you? I'm like, yeah, good man. What's happening? He goes, yeah, what are you doing in the area? So I go, well, I moved here. I moved to Noble like a month or two ago. I got a place just down the road. Bravo. I just heard that. I looked at his missus who was just like greasing me off. I'm like, it's good seeing you, man. Take it easy. And I walked off. He was talking to me like he was my Theo. You know what I mean? Like that again, what did we say before? The dynamic. I don't know what dynamic he thought he had in high school, but this is 15 years out, 20. So he's talking down to me like I'm his nephew. And I was looking at him like, get a job there. I'm moving. You know what I mean? And I worry because if I go to Oakleigh, I know that's who I'm going to see. All those heads.
No, they stick to their own there.
Look, it wasn't bad. Look, yesterday, I didn't mind it. It was nice.
Yeah, but see, you didn't mind it. See, I like coming to do this podcast. I don't want to do something that I didn't mind.
Yeah, but to be fair, we were sitting there, and like I said, I was happy to do it. And on more than one occasion, he'd look at me and he'd go, I don't know if it's a good idea. And I'm going, listen, man, take a fucking chill pill. I go, let's just enjoy the moment.
And we did.
I go,
right. We did.
And it was good. We were lucky on 2 occasions. We were hungry, and there was fucking chockers everywhere. But lucky we went to Oakleigh, and we happened to score a table fairly quickly.
Oakleigh is a good servo.
And then after we went back to their wives and stuff, they go, oh, yeah, let's go for a cruise. And we're walking past Melissa, and, they go, oh, so-and-so can get us a table here. Just stay here. We'll get it. I go, all right. So we got a table as well. We could have been aimlessly walking around like a lot of the other ones, but it was good. So we were fortunate there. We got to sit down, have a beer, whatever, relax. I go, let's just enjoy it. You know what I mean?
We did.
Look, for that reason, like, I find, especially as I'm getting older, I'm having more and more of a thirst for, like, Greek shit, but it comes at a price. And that price is dealing with those heads, and it's just, look.
Park it to the side. Once you park it to the side. And I think, importantly, it's who you go there with. If you've got a bit of a buddy and you go with, it's not bad.
I think you just got to master the art of, if there's someone that you're happy to have a good conversation with, just let it happen. But if it's not, if it's the alternative like you were alluding to before,
the best what I
just got to learn the old hi bye. You just got to master that.
I master quick. There's that couple. You do the eye contact and just look for. Just down there. Just
that's
keep walking.
The old avoidance one. That's different. But even if you happen to see him, just do the quick hi bye. Don't.
Yeah, we had a few of those last night.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly
the senator was in action last night.
So he's kissing babies. Yeah. He'd be going full tilt with Trump's D-Day coming up in full 72 hours.
I can't wait for that to finish.
We've gone 2 hours, and I'm thinking, yes, we've avoided this.
No, we can't.
And there he goes.
No, we can't.
He goes in front of. Denied to me that during the whole night there wasn't moments of, hang on, let me get up over here, go greet these people and this and that. Tell me it didn't happen.
And then
I'll rest my case.
You see the ribbons come down.
I knew I was in trouble. I knew I was in trouble because he when he's got that stupid grin that he's got right now, and then where we were sitting,
the Jets.
See that stupid grin? That's what I was copping last night. And then
made in t-shirt, costumi. You know what I mean?
What's a costumi?
And then?
And then he goes and you know what we call him at the podcast.
You serious?
One of our and then I cop a message from him
because he was doing the senator thing. I go, there goes the senator.
Oh, sorry, they're going to come up and say hello. What am I
going to do? Well, it's how you do it.
Anyway,
to be fair, at that dinner before he left, he was doing that. That's why I said it, because he was. It wasn't just like a wave from the other side of the table. It was like a walk over, firm handshake.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. You can easily do a how you going?
What's going on there?
I'll take my entourage over there, and
who's my entourage? Me,
publicist, security guards.
You went with Panna.
We're moving in.
I'm losing. Yeah, correct.
Hey, hang on. Can I ask something?
Correct.
Whatever he was wearing last night, did he have a little Greek flag? A little Greek flag there.
Oh, yeah. There were some interesting characters last night.
Bad.
There were. I mean,
go.
James McDonald for a start.
The hell's James McDonald?
No naming names.
No. Is that a real name?
No. He was referencing a jockey.
Okay.
James McDonald is a jockey.
Okay, thank you. From what decade?
Now.
Is he? Oh, okay. Do you follow the races?
Him.
Yeah.
I do.
Are you serious?
I do.
Fuck. I worked at Someone asked me about the races the other day, and I said I'm done supporting it because I can't get my head around riding horses for sport. For labour, I can see it because it was beneficial to man. It was necessary.
I get your point because I sort of agree.
I worked in the racing industry for 5 years. I saw the underbelly of it. You know what I mean?
What did you do?
I was in events, and the biggest contract my boss had
You had to extract semen out of the horses.
You're fucked.
Where does your mind go?
What? Anyway, that's his drop in for the day. Like that's it. Horse semen. All right, perfect. Moving along.
And that's his reaction to
The
it.
gag.
The gag.
So the company I worked for, the biggest contract they had was Country Racing Victoria.
Oh, okay.
So before I ever went to a race as a punter, I was behind the scenes, fucking laying flooring, setting up tents, all that sort of shit. So I saw, look at the birdcage. Yeah, everyone thinks it's this classy, glitzy bullshit. Dude, when you're behind the birdcage laying out flooring and you're seeing drunk celebrities falling over themselves or, girls,
I've seen plenty of that.
Girls from Brighton, you know what I mean? That we're talking again. We're talking about the perception and what was what I used before?
And
they walk in thinking they're Elle Macpherson on a catwalk, but when they're barefoot, pissing on like grass in a corner and then holding each other up, talking absolute smack. It's like, sorry, love,
Not great.
Nah. And then
you're drunk, bitch. Oh, you're fucked.
No, I've seen plenty of that.
And then again, like the horse element, like, do we ride? It just doesn't seem. The horse has no choice of whether or not it's in a race or trained or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That to me, and same with dog racing.
He knows my thoughts about that. Look, as a young guy, like anyone exposed to it, you're learning stuff around you.
Yeah.
I got. I wouldn't say I was an addict, but a Melbourne Cup, even card games, bit of this, bit of that, whatever. But then all of a sudden I thought, this is just, is what you're alluding to.
Yeah.
There's a dark side to this, you know what I mean? And I really sensed that. And I pulled the pin and I just said to myself, you know what?
Nah.
I don't want nothing to do with it. And, even Melbourne Cup would come. Like I worked corporate for a long time.
Yeah.
What do you think people do in
Melbourne
Cup?
Cup?
This in a couple of days, what are they going to do? Sweepstake and stuff, whatever. I didn't even get involved in that just for the fun of it because I just experience. When I say I personally experienced it, but obviously around me as well. I had a friend who had an uncle who was like a degenerate. Full on with a form guide in the pocket and the whole everything. And multiples of others, I saw a lot of that, and I just go, nah, that's not for me.
For me,
and,
it's like a combination of things, right? I've got no problem having a punt, and a day out at the races is a fun day out. If you've got a good group and all that, it's fun. You get dressed up, whatever. I've got no problem with that. The race courses around Victoria, I've been privileged to get onto them and seen them in peak form. You know what I mean? And they're lovely. Then you lose yourself when you're sort of standing out there. Then you realise you're on the clock and you're on your hands and knees, covered in shit, putting flooring into the ground. You know what I mean? The whole animal element of it. For me, it's just like I said. Humans, no problem. Put them in a fucking fighting pit to fight each other. Put them in a stadium to belt each other out, chasing a ball. No issues. The horse itself doesn't have a choice to run. The horse trips and breaks a fucking a ligament.
Get euthanized.
It's done. That's it. It doesn't get taken to the farm. It gets taken to the shed. You know what I mean? For me, that's where I sort of started
you
drawing
look
the
at the exploitation.
Yeah,
side of
it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense.
Totally agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say that too. Yeah.
But anyway, that's just my opinion. But yeah, how do we even get to the cup? Start on the horse racing thing.
I don't even know
how
we're
got
talking
there.
about
Don't know.
tomorrow because it's Melbourne Cup.
Yeah. I was going to say
that'll do.
interrupting this program to remind you all to like, share, follow, and subscribe to all our channels and accounts on Spotify, YouTube, and social media. We are only a few hundred followers away from hitting the 1 million mark. Of course, this is an outright lie. And now back to the episode. I think the elections are more important than coming up, man. Have you been following it?
Look, I'm not full on political. I dabble a little bit. But I just think for the rest of us, I just want that shit show over there to be over and done with.
Yeah.
And the sooner the better. That's it. Because
But why? But what's it? I mean, it sounds. It's not like I'm pulling away from you caring, but what's it to you?
What's it to me?
Yeah.
It's because, example,
Yeah.
right? I like going on Twitter, for example, just to pass some time, look at a few things. I'm not a freak, but, I don't mind watching a little bit.
It's called X.
It's always Twitter, mate.
It's Twitter. I even changed the app on my phone to say Twitter.
Yeah, agree.
I can't do it.
Anyway, the point is just to pass some time, look up what's going on, whatever. But now, with what's going on, it's flooded. Exactly.
Can't you unfollow that shit, though?
No.
Oh, you can't?
It just floods, mate. Twitter. You can't control it. And that's my point. And that's one example.
Yep.
So that is repeatable in a lot of other things. Even you turn on the TV, you might watch some news. I might half an hour, I'll just catch up on the news. Can't avoid it. A lot of the shit they're talking about is that.
Gotcha.
It's everywhere, man. That's what I'm saying. Whether you want to or not, it's in your face.
It's gonna be in your face.
And that's why I said from the start, I can't wait for that shit show to be over and done with, and we can move past it and try and get back on with our lives.
Yeah. Fair enough. And then there'll be more shit about it once whoever wins.
Who do you reckon's going to win?
Look, I'm no expert from what's going on there, but I honestly think they're not going to vote Donald Trump in.
You reckon?
Yeah. Look, I mean, I know there's fanatics out there. You know what I mean?
He's shaking his head.
You don't think so? I reckon he won't win.
The senator's got the inside track.
I think he's wrong there. I think that he's pissed off enough people that there's not enough fanatics to hold him up.
The cats, the dogs.
No, in 4 days' time.
But we'll know soon, yeah.
4 days, is it?
Look, I think you're right in as far as he's pissed off too many people this time. His rhetoric has just gotten off the charts now. Now he's attacking everyone, where it's like he's forgetting who his core demographic are. Like him attacking.
Like the thing he did with the Puerto Ricans recently, for example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people are going to him, you do realise they are Americans. It's like, imagine you saying, these effing Northern Territorians, who the fuck are they?
These Tasmanians.
You do realise they are Australians. Just because it's not a state of Australia, they're still Australians. Same thing with Puerto Rico. It is part of America. It's just not a state, it's a territory.
So
But this idiot who wants to run the country doesn't even know that. That's how stupid he is.
He's never known that.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted to sell it. He wanted to sell Puerto Rico years ago, and bring people in from Finland or like Norway and Sweden, Northern Europeans.
No, the guy's lost the plot. And he's pissed off.
But he's always been fucking cooked. That's the problem.
I 100% agree with that. But I think this time he's gone off the rails too far, and enough people that might have been, swayed either way. Again, you've gone beyond control.
But
we'll see.
I think what's scary.
I think it's just Dumb and Dumber between both of them anyway.
I think what's scary is that
you've got no other choice.
When I've got mates here and it comes up, and if I know that they're apolitical, like they don't really have that much of an interest in politics generally or whatever, and the word of Trump and things comes up, when I hear someone start the conversation with, well, he's a businessman, so, I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Hasn't he, filed for bankruptcy, multiple times?
Yeah, half a dozen times.
Yeah. Many times. And mind you, businessman. Whatever he had to begin with
from his father,
was given to him on a silver platter anyway. And he probably started off with this much, and he's got it to this much. So he's actually destroyed it. But
there is nothing.
He's a businessman.
There are no businesses that he's opened on his own accord that are still running.
Wow.
Think of it like that. That's all you need to know.
Like America.
Yeah.
Dude,
he ran that for 4 years.
Trump steaks, Trump, casinos, Trump university. There's countless. All it does is grift.
Anyway, I know everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I honestly think he won't get through. And we'll see in a few days.
I think that's the thing. When I have people, like I said, that are apolitical, that are neither left or right or whatever, but can start a conversation with a positive, as in him being a businessman, there's got to be other Muppets over there that actually believe the rhetoric.
Who will only lose.
Yeah, there is, 100%.
Who will only lose if people don't want him there. They need to vote him out. Because
but that's what happened last time. But my point is that, yes, he's always going to have his fanatics.
And they will always vote.
No matter what's going on.
It's not compulsory,
But there's the group of that, just no particular reason, but a couple of names popped in my head. John Bon Jovi is known to be a Republican type person, right? But given what's going on with him, Trump, and etc., he's literally gone out of the way and said, nah, I can't vote for him.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to vote for Kamala, even though he's a lifetime Republican.
Arnie said that.
And it was my other name I was going to say. Arnold
But that goes both
Schwarzenegger,
ways.
who's an actual Republican. He was a governor, and he's Republican and everything. And he said the same thing that, I don't want this or that, but for the sake of the country, I can't in good faith vote
But it's
for
not
Trump.
just-
But, that's what they're saying. Now, these people are Republican people.
I know,
you know
I
what I mean?
know, yeah.
And they're turning against him. That's what I'm trying to say.
100 people of Trump's ex-cabinet, they've all come out saying, like Mike Pence, he was his vice president. He said, I can't support him.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, except the fanaticals from the Khorio who, won't change their mind.
But why is the
right?
split? Why is the current split 50-50?
Yeah, what are you believing, man? That's not a true split. That's that. Okay, you know how you.
Andy,
No, please.
I've sat there and I've listened. Right?
You know what I'm trying to say?
I've
It's
never
like
seen
if you,
anyone be fucking degraded like
it's
that.
like
Andy,
if
please.
you listen to Sky shit. Sky News Malakia, and if they say to you, oh yeah, it's 50-50. That's the sort of 50-50 that the Trump and his cronies try and push through there.
yeah.
It's not 50-50,
All
man.
right, I'm going to pull you up on two things.
All right, go, pull me up.
Just two things, right? And again, I do study politics, and I study it pretty well, right? And you're right in what you're saying. Okay, talk to me. And you mentioned about what he said about Puerto Ricans. 100% correct. 100%. What did Biden say about voting Republican? What do you call them?
But you're not voting for Biden.
No.
Biden's not running.
No. Answer the question. He is the incumbent.
Biden is not running.
He is the incumbent president of the United States.
That's irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant.
You're not voting for Biden.
Wait. What was the question? Say it again.
What did Biden call Republican voters?
No,
What did he call him? Tell me.
Scums of the earth.
no, what he said was...
Okay, let's say he did. Go.
Okay, so what he said was, the whole Puerto Rican garbage thing came up because of a comedian at the last rally that
Yeah,
Trump
that's
did in
right,
Madison Square Garden,
Yeah.
right? He said there's a floating island of garbage in the United States.
Yeah.
They're called Puerto Ricans, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That was denounced immediately by almost everyone in the Republican Party. Trump came out in his typical wisdom and said, I don't even know who that is. It's like, he's the opening stand-up at your fucking rally, man.
Yeah,
Like, what do you mean you don't know who it is? All right? He's, I don't know who it is, blah, blah, blah. Trump, then Biden came out and said, the only garbage I see are Trump supporters. The Biden camp came out and clarified, because then obviously Fox News and everyone jumped on it and said, he's calling all Trump supporters garbage.
Yeah.
Irrelevant. Hang on. The irony of it being is that Fox and Trump have called everyone garbage. Everyone's low intelligence, low IQ, disgusting, deplorable,
now you don't like it,
rapists, right? Then the Biden camp came out and clarified and said, no, he wasn't calling like Republicans garbage. He was calling Trump supporters like that all backed up that claim at that, his close support thing. That did damage control. There was a need for it.
Of course there is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And and then the next part.
Having said that, Biden's not who you're voting for.
Representing.
Doesn't matter. You're
He's
not voting
representing
for Biden.
the Democratic Party, Andy.
You can take that approach. But they are very specific there about when you go tick the boxes. None like how we vote here.
It's red or blue,
You're
mate.
literally voting.
Red or blue.
No. You're voting for names. They've actually got alphabetical
I know.
names there.
But they've got a colour next to
Are you
it.
voting for Trump or are you voting for so-and-so? You got to tick the name.
Yeah, of course you do. But they represent.
So you're not voting. Biden's name's
Republican
not
or
even on the
Democrat?
list.
You know when you get your two
Republican,
uncles
Democrat.
drunk at a party and they argue?
That's number one. And
I know what he's trying to say. I know what he's trying to say, but it's not the same type of thing. Trump is actually running for it. Biden is not.
and just the one that I do like.
Yeah, go.
And don't get me wrong. I don't hold both in high esteem, right?
Listen, I agree with what you're saying, all right? Trump's done a million things that are completely incomprehensible and reprehensible. But I agree with what George is saying as well, that it'll go either way because it just seems like even if Trump does 50 things, It won't matter.
Yeah, no, anything can go either way.
Harris
It's
has got
understandable.
The whole issue around Harris is that her campaigners lack substance.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
There's been no clear definition of policy right through their campaign.
What substance does Trump have? Yeah?
He's
not supporting. I don't think he's supporting Trump. He's just saying that Harris is.
I'm
yeah, but this is what I'm talking about.
Andy,
okay, you say this
Trump
one doesn't have substance.
Andy,
well, it's one versus the other.
First and foremost, he said, this is what we're going to do with the border control. First and foremost, this is what they're going to do around economic policy. Kamala Harris has turned around, and typical of the Democrat way is it's each way stuff. There hasn't been a definitive way of how they're going to tackle the border issue. And if you say that it's not a major issue in America, you are very, very wrong, I'm afraid to say, because the border control has had a significant impact on the American way of life. And it's had an impost on their economy. It's had an impost.
Yeah, but I don't think there's politics. I think it's the people.
But it hasn't been managed, Con. The whole thing is. And then Harris has turned out and says, we are going to do it this way. But you've enabled, under your clock, you are the vice president under this current regime, and you've done 5/8 of sweep. So that's what I'm trying to say. You need, when you balance it all up.
A lot of people are going to vote for Trump just for change, and they're going to realise there's no change. It's going to go anyway. I believe it's going to go anyway because keep in mind, it's not compulsory. That's all I have to say.
No, of course not. It's not compulsory.
So people who are Trump supporters are going to be there front row centre. They're going to be voting, and people who don't give a fuck aren't going to be there. Even if they don't want Trump to win, they're not going to be there and vote. And people who are going to vote for Kamala are going to do that. They're obviously going to be there. But there's going to be a majority who don't give a fuck that if Trump wins or Kamala wins. And a lot of people who do maybe say, you know what, I don't want Trump there, but I can't be fucked. I don't want to take time off my day to go out and vote him out. That's why it's going to go anyway.
I don't know what they're going to do in terms of what the voter participation rate is going to be this year, but it is going to be a fairly significant decision what the American electorate need to make, because it will have world influence. Because what we need to say, irrespective of who wins, America is a key player in the world, and how the world is shaped today.
And unfortunately, I was going to say past tense, but anyway.
And again, I'm sitting on the fence here as an observer. Do I think that Donald Trump has had a? If it was anyone else except Kamala Harris, they would have blown Trump away.
Yeah, I agree.
Harris, unfortunately, carries the how can I say it? Carries the stigma of Biden, who has done nothing.
I think with Andy, it's a little bit more than just the social media aspect of the fact that it's coming up on your screens. Yeah, you're passionate about this. It's not the media shit. There's a bit more to it. You obviously care about Trump not winning.
But I've seen enough where, but going back to what you said, I honestly think that, because, like I said, it's in your face, all the things. So the stuff I've seen, they actually say that Trump has escalated beyond what he normally does because apparently his people and him know he's losing. So that's why he's actually losing his shit and he's escalating his antics. That's what I've heard as well.
We'll know in 4 days.
I've been following Trump's crap since 2015, all right? And I've been on it the entire time, right? To the point where in 2020 when he finally lost, my friend in Pittsburgh messaged me immediately.
And the way he lost was pathetic.
Yeah.
That, for me, is enough to say, you know what, you should not be standing again. And it just tells you the current state of play in America, in my mind.
The electoral college system is garbage. All right?
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
That's stupid.
The whole elections hinges on 5 states. It doesn't hinge on 50.
Exactly
right.
What
I mean?
It's Wisconsin.
Yeah. Nevada, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, and what's the other one? Nevada, Michigan.
Is it,
Nevada, Michigan,
you said Pennsylvania?
Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. There's one missing.
And I think what I mentioned earlier, I think it's because of Pennsylvania that I've heard that he's losing it bad there.
Yeah.
And that's what's making him lose it.
He's definitely...
He's saying, I've got to attack. Because I've got to do something.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing Hail Marys, basically.
He's basically upped his ante 100%. Like, compared to
That's
his
what I've
usual
heard.
shit.
That's what I'm saying.
And it'll be interesting because it's going to have an impact, because as you can see, that, you know, it's having an impact across the world. We're going to elections next year, and it's going to be a very, very tight election again next year.
Question.
Yeah.
We've got an election. An election just happened in Melbourne for the mayor. Yeah, how did you not
Hang
run?
on,
I didn't
just
see his.
happened?
I didn't see his name on the
For
ballot.
Cooter?
Yeah.
Cooter.
Hang on, did that already happen? I thought it was still in the process.
Well, the
Postals
ended on Friday last week.
Oh, okay. So they haven't announced who's the...
Well, Reece looks like he will be the...
Did you know anything about any of the other candidates?
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know shit. I didn't want to vote for Cooter, but he was literally the only one that I recognised on the ballot.
Yeah, but you're in that area, aren't you?
Yeah.
So we don't vote for Cooter.
Yeah.
All of them, yeah.
But it's going to be, I mean, I thought you were going to talk about there was a change of government in Queensland as well.
Oh, yeah, that happened too. Yeah, this last 2 weeks have been heavy, man. What happened with in Queensland?
They got smashed.
Just belted.
Yeah.
Labor
But
got
then I
smashed.
don't know if it's true. I could check it. I heard that he already announced this is the guy that's come in now from, what's his name, Christopher or whatever his name is, that they're going to slash the hospital nurses by 4,400 or something.
4,400 what? People?
Roles, yeah.
I haven't heard.
How?
Yeah, I heard. Well, how? He's come in.
Their whole issue there, I mean, that youth crime in Queensland is devastating. That's how bad it is.
Really?
It's bad.
Are we talking about like really sort of centralised areas? Or are we talking like generally?
Generally.
Oh, I'm sure it's
Their youth crime
different places,
their youth
different,
crime per capita and ratios. I'm not quite across all the numbers, but they are devastatingly high.
When you mean youth crime, do you just mean like like teenagers and stuff just running riot? Okay, now values.
it goes back to what we said at the start,
man.
Interesting.
If you parent your kids properly, you won't have as much youth crime.
By the time we come back and have another discussion, we will have known the results. It'll be an interesting.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be an interesting.
We need a follow up.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting discussion point.
It'll be either.
But it'll
be either
way.
Andy ecstatic or Andy depressed.
Exactly. And the thing is, for me, it's not about the right or the left.
To be honest with me, I don't give a fuck.
It's about. I've always been intrigued in the policy. I've been intrigued in the way that they manage and the way that they've come across to.
It's embarrassing to
electorates and so forth. That's the sort of stuff that that I've always been intrigued about. Whether or not they, to the benefit of their country, we don't live in that country.
Yeah.
We don't know. We're just simply observing from the top. What will influence us is next year. Obviously, the next set of federal election is going to be a very interesting one because, look at people are doing it hard.
Probably
people are doing it hard.
I think the whole thing in America, like you said before, America is a mega power, whether you like it or not.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And what they do does influence the rest of the world, left, right, or the other. It really doesn't matter. The key policies that it's just the blatant hypocrisy of trying to stand behind Trump as some sort of pious, religious man moving for the Christian right. It's like the guy's been married.
Hogwash is that, man?
He's been married 3 times. He's been found liable for rape.
Yeah, fraud, crime, everything. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like,
but I'm a Christian.
This is who you stand behind. Like Mike Pence was a fervent, hard right militant. Like
doesn't want to know him.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what. So it makes no sense.
Like that fucking run though.
But that's what I mean. It makes no sense when you've got evangelists standing behind Trump, like he's going to make things better, or you've got the low.
Yeah, but that's because evangelists, in their sense, is not really a proper.
No. But then you've got low socioeconomical people, like in the rural districts and shit like that in the States, that are broke, that are standing behind Trump like he's some sort of rock star god, like he's going to save them all. It's like, dude, he doesn't care about any of you people.
Nah.
He literally doesn't care about any of you people. No, he doesn't. So it's so bizarre. The support that he's got is coming from the marginalized groups that he's completely avoiding or neglecting. That's That's what I find intriguing. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. You're spot on.
Yeah.
It's where, and alternatively, where Harris draws their support from. Where, you know, they're the sort of things that you're intrigued about when you're sitting and taking a helicopter.
I just don't get it, you know. And then when you look at actual policy, like, you know, the one thing, of all the things Trump said he was going to do in 4 years of being in there, right, he didn't do any of it. The only thing he did, he built a fraction of the wall he said he was going to build. Apparently Mexico was going to pay for it. Mexico didn't pay $1, and he got a couple yards of it as opposed to a couple hundred miles. The one thing he did manage to do was kill Roe versus Wade, right, the abortion bill. So the Abortion Act, for like anyone that doesn't know, is basically the right to choose in United States
which
as
they
a right.
Fought for very hard to get.
They fought for it. They got it, right? 50 years on, he kills it and he sends the power back to the states. Is that a big deal? This is the big deal about it. It means that the states can then govern how they want. So if a state, like the state of Kentucky, you know, or the state of Alabama, right, if they choose to not have abortions, cool. They can say we don't have abortions. But the problem is how they police it. So what that opens up is
open up another place.
You've got a woman in Alabama who's been date raped, you know, or whatever. She needs to have an abortion, else she's going to have to carry this pregnancy to term with the guy that raped her, right? Could have been a cousin for all she knows, right? Now she's forced to cross the borders to go get an abortion in another state somewhere else if she has the money and the means to.
Yeah, but they even block them.
They're even talking about policing that and monitoring women with who are pregnant.
That's not right.
Which isn't right. They're all about.
But that's what they've done.
But that's the hypocrisy of it. They're the party of personal freedom, unless you're a woman, unless you're a minority, unless you're broke. Yeah. Then we're the party of everything you do is our business and our concern. And here's the problem. A lot of other Republicans are basically saying, oh, you know, we just want to open it up to let every state govern and let's just start rolling back shit. So with the Roe v. Wade one also comes the laws opening up interracial marriages, the laws opening up, what was the other one? There was a whole bunch of shit.
Segregation.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. Segregation in religious freedom and interracial marriage. So if the state of Alabama believes that, you know, blacks and whites shouldn't be marrying, then they'll make a law on it. Imagine how insane that is.
Today's society. But they're the party of personal freedom. That's where the hypocrisy, I don't understand. It's so hypocritical. Their messiah is a guy that's been thrice divorced, found liable for statutory rape, you know, and all the other shit that he's done. They want to roll back policies which are all about personal freedoms. For what? And that's where it doesn't make sense. It's like, man, this is ridiculous. This is a shitstorm in a can. I look forward to the review.
The one question I will ask, right? Trump said that he'd be a dictator on day one and that's it. So day one, he'd throw his political enemies into prisons. He'd start the biggest mass migration of illegal migrants back to wherever they came from. And what was the other one? There was another one. I can't remember. He had like a whole bunch of...
I think he's going to grow a little mo like that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah. But if he gets...
There's truth to that. They're just flashing flags and things all over the place now.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, they don't care.
They don't care.
But if he does get through, do you reckon that's what's going to happen? He'll have, like... Because he's talked about going after Biden, Hillary, like the Clintons, everyone. They're all going to jail.
Oh, he will try.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, he will try. I'm not saying he'll succeed because there might be certain legalities that block him, but it won't stop him trying.
Yeah. I reckon he'll probably go full tilt. Like
he'll go for it.
Yeah.
And whatever can be done, he'll go for it.
Yeah. I honestly believe that. It's scary. Can you imagine that? Imagine martial law like this goes into effect.
That's how unhinged he is, man.
Yeah. He's nuts. He's actually nuts. And that's what's scary, man.
Don't get me started.
Can you do me a favour?
Yeah.
Next time we come here, just put a picture of Trump.
Yeah. No. There's one there, up there. He's in the middle of the table.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, that's what he thinks he is. Anyway.
Which is weird. That fucking collage, I made that after the end of season 1. Season 1 ended 2017, just after Trump's inauguration, yeah? So that is representative of what was
Imagine
big.
taking that to the old lady.
That was big in media in 2016. You know, so Trump, Pauline Hanson, McGregor, you know, what's his name was still prime minister here. Kim Jong-un was in that conversation. It's actually bizarre that we're 8 years on and it's the same people that are still at the forefront of media. When would you guys come in last?
About a month ago.
Has it been a month?
About a month.
Was it a month?
Just
Just
after
over a month? When did you get back? You got back August.
Late August.
Late August, so we're in start of November. So yeah, it would have been like middle of September, probably. First weeks of September.
Probably, yeah.
So 6 weeks. I'll be honest, the last couple of weeks I've been crook. I got sick like 2-3 months ago, did rounds of antibiotics, knocked it out, and then got sick again like two weeks later. So I've been trying to recover, and it's been busy as. The one thing I did do though, which building from last time, was I joined a gym again that week. After I did the edit, I literally went to the gym like that night and just signed up. Fuck. It was hard. The first session back, I just got the vibe of like the gym atmosphere, you know what I mean? And the music and like, you know, the equipment's there and you just get pumped up to actually like use equipment and get the weights out. I hit a snag because I got sick. I just physically couldn't do it. I slept the last 10 days, I've slept at least 3 nights. I've slept over 12 hours. Like the body's just had enough. You know what I mean? Like it's just been a big year. But I did get amped to go back to the gym. I started going back to those late sessions, trying to push myself, pumping weight through. But yeah, you just got to sort of keep pushing through it. What was the other thing? Oh, making the bed. I started doing that like as in, I started with the bed and then when I said I've done the bed, that's when I said I got to go to the gym. Okay, that's the next step in. But it's all a work in progress, man. Like, I'm
isn't
just
it?
out.
But but when you put these milestones in there, and these trigger points, that's what happens.
Yeah, it's rewarding. It's nice.
Bloody oath it is.
Yeah, I started spending more time trying to clean up a bit, like around the house, just get on top of shit quicker. You know what I mean? Rather than let things linger and get to the last, I got to do it. Now it's like, fuck it, just do it now, get it done.
Exactly what happened with me yesterday, man. I literally got home from, I think took the lady to the dad and did little rounds with that, like took her to Bunnings. So then I came home like, all right, backyard, let's smash it. Fucking smash the backyard.
Post this podcast. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, I did that, and I'm like, it's 4:00. Fuck it, the garage. Fucking overhauled the garage as well till 6:30.
That's good.
Fucking just
That's
smashed it, man.
No.
I put it in my head, like you were doing this one earlier today, because if I go to Glendi for a bit, I'll still have time to go straight to the office and get this edit done and out. So hopefully you guys are listening to something, reviewing it by the end of tonight. But mentally, I was like, I've got to clean up the rest of the house. Last night I did, because I was sick for a week, I thought I'd do all my bed sheets, everything, because it was warm as well. So I'm like, fuck it. Threw everything in the wash, do another round, do another thing, bring them in.
Yeah, I did all that yesterday. Changed Duna and everything. I did the old, changed the, well, if you know Vicky, you know Vicky, right? We had everything. So I switched from winter Duna to summer Duna.
Are you kidding?
Oh, yeah.
My Duna's had like 1,000 miles on it, man.
Not only have we got winter Duna and summer Duna, we had, she had backups. I got multiples.
How often do you change? Okay, hang on. Pillows. This is a question. How often do you change your pillow? Actually change the pillow and throw it out.
Yeah, there's when you should do it and when people actually
When
do
is
it.
when you should?
I think it's every couple of years. If I remember right, I think it's about every couple of years you should be changing your pillow.
You?
I don't know, ask my missus.
Same here.
Fucking hell. I don't know, because when I took the pillow protector and the cases off one of them, one of my pillows is 2 pillows combined into one. My mum,
Yeah, I'll go one of those too.
I saw my mum like, I don't know, 2-3 months ago. She goes, yeah, I got your Maxi Laddie. I'd given her
My mum did the same.
Yeah, I'd given her the keys to my house. I think I was away for the week. Maybe it was when we went camping. I can't remember. But she had something on in the city. And God bless her, she actually reached out and said, you're going to be home on such day. I said, no, like, I'm not. Why? Oh, because I've got something on in the city. So I thought I'd come past, with one of her friends. I'm like, I'm not going to be there. Go take the keys.
Drank all his booze.
Yeah. And I said, there you go. I go, F, get here. I go, take the keys. I go, make yourself at home. She's all right, cool. The next time I went to her house, she handed me 2 pillows. I'm like, what's this? You need new pillows. I go, what are you doing looking at my pillows, man?
Oh, so she sussed it out when she was there?
Yeah. So she nickel-keyed up, she cleaned up a bit. What's it? What were you doing?
I've got doilies everywhere.
Yeah, I expected booze to be missing, something out of the fridge. No, you had to look at my pillows and said they went up the code. So she got me 2 new pillows.
Man, you need doilies in your house.
Fuck that.
You know what? Malika, I'm getting you some doilies.
Fuck off. Why me?
Doilies. You need doilies
You
in the
have
house.
a whole house. I've got an apartment. Okay, where am I going to put them?
A doily everywhere.
You know where? On the top of the TV set
Done.
and the PS4.
Oh,
yeah.
it's got to be on top of the
Yeah.
Get the morpho in there.
Yeah, but she gave me 2 pillows, but they weren't the thickest sort of makeup. She must have got them cheap from somewhere. So I put them both in a pillowcase and they're fine. The other one that I'd bought, I think I bought in my last move. My first move to South Bank, so it was probably like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's starting to look a bit warm.
Jabby.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it just looks like shit.
Shabby chic.
So I thought maybe I should replace it. I thought, well, what's the time frame on these things, man?
Yeah, apparently pillows.
What about Doona?
Doona. I think obviously Doonas that go through. You wash them and stuff.
Yeah. Do you ever dry clean them though?
Yeah, we have done. Yeah.
Have you ever dry cleaned a Doona?
Sure.
I think you're talking to someone who's dealt with stuff with. Vicky.
Yeah,
I think these
yeah.
two.
All right, forget it. They're out of it. All right, because I've got a Doona. I threw it in the washing machine with a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But it didn't bring it.
Don't do it on your home washing machine.
I had
Either you
to.
take it to a dry cleaner or you go to a laundromat because it's the industrial machine.
Yeah,
No,
with
no,
all
no.
fucking dog hairs.
That I
and
do
shit.
know.
Yeah?
No, it's true, man. It's a washing machine, man. It's not dog hairs.
Dog hairs.
I don't know. Some people,
Yeah, but it's a washing machine, man. It doesn't matter what was in there.
Hang
The
on.
whole point is
what
because
was he saying?
you
What was he saying?
don't go to a laundromat
not?
because it might be dirty, whatever.
Yeah.
But they're cleaned more regularly than your one is.
That's
I
what I'm
guarantee
trying
it.
to tell him.
Don't.
I
I cleaned the filter. I cleaned my washing machine filter last Wednesday.
Not freaking enough. I'm telling you that now. All right. The
So-
ones at the
Back to your
laundromats.
point, the laundromat machines
Hang
are
on,
more
man.
heavy duty.
I need to shut him up. All right.
Yeah, go.
Aku malaka.
Here we go. Malik,
The
yes.
ones at the laundromats are industrial strength, number one, all right,
Yeah.
and they've got better filtering systems than your fucking thing at home, guaranteed, because my mum went out and bought one of these industrial ones. It used to shake the foundations
Maytag?
of the house.
Was it a Maytag?
It was an American brand. It was huge. Malaka, Saturday mornings, I would wake up at like 7:45. The whole house.
You see the lights.
rumble.
Hey, you
Dude,
see
the
lights.
stumps.
The lights dim.
Yeah, dude, the house was an old weatherboard house, man. It shook the foundations. I'm talking, you could feel it, right? She was insane. I go, what'd you get? She goes, "Toto Calitoro." I'm like, are you out of your mind? And then it died, and she bought the same one. It was like an 1985 spec.
The last one was just an anomaly.
Dude, I'm telling ya. Number 2.
Fucking the washing machine had a starter motor.
The exhaust pipe out the back. Number 2, dude, those washing machines are cleaned with more fervour and attention than you will ever pay to your one at
Because
home.
it's their business. That's
Exactly.
right.
Correct.
And the reason you take it, because your machine at home, either it won't do it first of all, or secondly, it will do it, but it'll struggle.
Okay.
Whereas that's why you take it to the laundromat, because they're bigger, they're more heavy duty. That's the whole point.
Okay. I was thinking maybe when I go away at the end of the
Just
year.
go to a laundromat. That's it.
When I'm going away, I'm thinking I've got 2 Doonas. I might take them both just to get one, just to see what happens.
Yeah,
Dry
basically.
cleaner. Don't just
Get
take a
a dry
dry
cleaner.
cleaner.
Or you just go to the dry cleaner. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go to the dry cleaner.
Yeah.
There's a couple laundromats in my area, I think, but they're kind of sketchy. I don't know.
Why? Were they dirty?
No, they're like they're
Maybe the clientele.
the clientele in my area isn't the best. What do you mean? We don't all live in cul-de-sacs like you, man.
All the sex.
Out in the suburbs.
Fucking love a bit of
Wisteria
fucking
Lane.
sex, don't you?
Hold up.